Hi, how's it going? So, we are going to make this short and sweet. At the moment, I've just got a simple kind of skeleton set up. And this code is in the GitHub repository in the description section of the video, including before and after, so you can check through this and hopefully it all makes sense. So we have a graphics engine object, and at the moment it's very bare, and we have some parameters that we declare here. Then we can go to the source code. So it's just really simple. When we create the engine, we run the build glfw window that initializes glfw, and we set a few flags. For one thing, we want to have no client rendering API at the moment. We're going to fill that in with Vulkan later. And we also want to set it so the user can't resize the window. Again, we'll fix that later, but that's what we'll set it at for now. Then we go ahead and create a glfw window, and as we can see here in the comment, it returns a pointer to a glfw window. The arguments it takes are the size of the window, the string for the title of the window, a pointer of a monitor to share resources with, a pointer to the monitor that we're going to be using. We're not going to use one of those at the moment. Now we would set something in here if we wanted to make it full screen, but if we set null pointer, then it will just create a little framed window, not a full screen window, and a pointer to another window that we might want to share resources with. In this case, we're not doing that, so we will set that as null pointer. By the way, we always have to be ambitious, okay? Be crazy ambitious. We're going to do idtech 12. I don't know why they call ID software. I don't know why they call it id software. Does that make sense? I mean, when you go to a pub, do they say, hey, can I see your id? No, they say, can I see your ID? It's ID. What's wrong with these? Anyway, fine. So we're just going to print out some debug information and end. Perfect. Awesome. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go with this model of just printing information to the console for now, right up until we get things drawing. Because like I said, there are a lot of little components that we need to set up. Okay, great. So we've got the glfw side working. The next thing we need to do is we need to load in the Vulkan library. Now, there's a number of ways to do this. This is very analogous to with OpenGL. We use a loader like glad or glue or something to basically do to load process addresses, to query process addresses, because remember, Vulkan has been implemented on our graphics card. The functions are there on the graphics card. We need to get them. Now, our options are we could go crazy tinfoil hat and we could code up ourselves some sort of automated process to load things from the graphics card. But that's not good because those things can change all the time. It's really not fun. It's not good. Don't do it. The second option is we have something called the Vulcan SDK. So LunaG made this Vulcan SDK, which is very, very good. We can just go download it. And the current version is 1.2, this one here. Now I actually have this downloaded and installed already on my computer, so I'm not going to re-download that. It's very straightforward. We just click download and then next, next, next. I think it automatically even adds it to the path for Windows, so that's awesome. So what we will do instead is pretend we've got that. So pretend we've got that, and we go to our C drive where that's been installed, and we go down to C Vulcan SDK. There it is. Awesome. And there are two folders which are really important. Library and include. Okay, so include has these bunch of headers, especially in here. These are really good. And lib has the library files. Okay, so we'll just grab both of those, copy them, and then we'll go back. And I've got this folder here, third party. Now this third party at the moment, it's just got glfw, headers, and glfw3.lib. Okay, we'll paste that in there. It's actually pretty clever. It actually works out to copy the contents in. So we've still got glfw, and we've got all of this stuff from before. That's great. And then in the lib, we've still got glfw, and we've got all of these Vulkan libraries. Awesome. Okay, so now let's set this up so that we can use that. So I'll just go to my properties, and here I can see that I've got, go to directories and then include. And see, I've set this up with the macro, so it has that include path already. So we've got the vulkan.h, awesome. And then in the libraries, I've set this up, so we've got that location as well. But what we do need to do is go to the linker, input, additional dependencies, and we need to specify the name of the library that we're using. So we're going to use vulkan1.lib, awesome. And just double check. I'm so paranoid about this, but it's important. That is vulkan1.lib. Okay, awesome. Good. So okay. Now there are two ways to include this. One way is, it's common, at least in Vulkan tutorial, to go define, what is it, glfw include Vulkan. So we've got glfw and we've made that flag there. Now we should probably put this here. I'll show you why in a second. So if we jump into this, so control click to inspect the source, and then control F to find, okay, so here we have it, this if else over here, and this is the only point at which this flag has any bearing on the glfw3 library. And what it evaluates to is if we have set this flag, then it includes vulkan.h, which we could quite just as easily have just done like this. There we go. Awesome. Cool. So we've got that. However, vulkan.h is the C API. So I think if I click in here, it's a little, I don't know, little verbose. I wonder what this does. Anyway, so there's a whole bunch of things. But my point is, this is the Vulkan API, C API, and I want to use the C++ style API. So there's another file there called vulkan.hpp, and that is essentially just a wrapper around that C API, which uses slightly nicer notation. So I'm just going to copy this note in here. A lot of this is going to be copied. Okay, so this is statically linking the Vulkan library. Now I'll just copy this other note. I wrote this ahead of time. So as we can see here, statically linking the library, that's great. We get a lot of Vulkan functions. We don't get all Vulkan functions. So as we progress through the series, we might get to functions which Vulkan just doesn't have them from this static linking. In that case, we use functions like this, get instance process address or get device process address. Some Vulkan functions are kind of tied to an instance, some are tied to a device. And that's what we'll be looking at in the future when we come to it as we need it. Okay, so I hope you had fun. Hope you learned a few things. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.